Hi there, Dr. Rajiv Iyer here with more secrets on how you can be successful as an international medical graduate doctor in the USA. Here, I'm going to tell you about the 3 visa types you need to know and which one should you pick in order to become a green card holder soon and then be a US citizen. Let's do this together. Have you ever looked into the different types of US visa? There are 51 visa categories in the USA. But the good news is, as an IMG, you and me have to know only about 3 of those. Those are the H1B, the J1 visa, and the O visa. Now, what are the differences and pros and cons for each of these? The H1B visa is a temporary worker visa. I understand H1B visa quite well because I came to the US on an H1B visa. Now, the H1B visa is issued for a maximum of 6 years. My initial stamping happened for 3 years with the promise that I'm going to apply for a renewal once again and get it stamped. What I've seen with other IMGs is they get a stamp from somewhere between 1 to 3 years, and subsequently the hospital who has hired you applies for a renewal of H1B, and then the petition gets approved and then you restamp the visa. Now, if you're wondering what happens after those 6 years, usually the IMGs apply for a green card. To my knowledge, the H1B visa is the best visa to have because the transition to a green card is pretty seamless. Of course, there is a lot of wait time depending on what your country of origin is. This is especially true for people from India and China who apply through what is called as the EB2 pathway, and the IMGs end up waiting for somewhere between 10 to 15 years. However, I have also known of many IMGs who have been successful through the EB1 pathway. One of the biggest cons of an H1B visa that I've seen, of course, other than the limit of 6 years, is that the spouses of H1B tend to be professionals. Now, they get a visa called H4. If they have an H4 visa, they are not authorized to work. So these people end up sitting home. If your children are going to school, they can attend school on an H4 visa, but however, no work can be done on an H4 visa. They're eligible to get an EAD or an employment authorization document. Once people have the EAD, they're eligible to work. The next visa type is the J1 student visa type. The J1 visa is actually sponsored by the ECFMG for a IMG. Now, most residency programs actually offer a J1 visa. The reason for this is it is pretty straightforward to get a J1 visa. Plus, the amount of paperwork that's required and the amount of expense that the hospital has to take in the US is pretty less as compared to an H1B visa. So for this reason, most hospitals do offer the J1 visa. However, if you're an IMG candidate on a J1 visa, it comes with 2 drawbacks. One is you either have to go back to your home country for 2 years or do a J1 waiver job. The second one is your visa has to transition to an H1B visa before you apply for a green card. Every IMG I have known has taken the J1 waiver job. I have not seen anyone go back to their home country. I'm sure this exists, but I have not come across any of them, at least amongst the IMGs I know of. Now, getting a J1 waiver job is not very easy, but people have been successful and finding a J1 waiver job. I did have a question from someone asking, how about big universities? Yes, big universities can offer a J1 waiver job depending on where they're located. Now, the J1 visa is of 2 types. One is a clinical J1 visa. The other one is a research J1 visa. If you're coming on a clinical J1 visa, then you have to finish your USMLE step 1, step 2, and be ECFMG certified. But if you're coming on a research J1 visa, then you're not coming in contact with patients, then you do not need a USMLE. I know this because I've sponsored J1 visas. Whereas in order to get a H1B visa, you have to complete your USMLE step 1, step 2, be ECFMG certified, plus also complete your USMLE step 3. Now, the last category is a O visa. O visa is offered for people who are exceptional and has a limit for 3 years. Getting a O visa and extending it is not very seamless. There is a lot of paperwork involved, and the hospital hiring you should be willing to offer and then be willing to extend the duration of your O visa. I have seen IMGs who are on O visa and are successful, but these are the minority of IMGs. So to conclude, if you're given the option of J1 visa or an H1B, pick an H1B. If you're offered a J1, ask if the hospital can sponsor an H1B. Next, I recommend you check this video out where I've explained step by step on how you can be successful to come to the USA through the alternate entry path program by not repeating residency all over again. And I also have a playlist detailing many videos on how you can be successful as an international medical graduate in the USA. Do check them out. If you have any questions, leave in the comments below. And there are many rules and regulations surrounding this. You may want to talk to an experienced immigration attorney or a consultant for this. I'm not either one of those. I just speak based on my own experience and what I have seen with so many other IMGs I know of. Take care, stay safe. I will talk to you soon. What I've seen with IMGs is they get a stamp for an H1B. The IMGs apply for a green card, and in my experience, all the IMGs have had their visa petition. I'm not either one of those. I just speak based on my experience. I just speak